Well, that was kind of boring. After all the hype about the CPI number and how much it was going to move the market, basically we were unchanged today. So my name is Mark. I'm the stock market jobber. I'm a former institutional trader. I was the head of trading at three different money managers. Traded directly for two of the best in the history of the industry, Steve Cohen, Mario Gabelli. I was a market maker. I oversaw numerous hedge fund strategies. So when it comes to trading, there's not a lot I haven't seen, and I've decided that at this point in my life, I want to teach people because I see so much mythology out there and so much misinformation about how the market really works, and or about how the market works. And as someone who is in the institutional world for 2 decades plus, I can speak with firsthand knowledge about how what really goes on Wall Street and what good traders actually focus on. And one of them is price levels. So make sure you please subscribe to our YouTube page here because we're trying to build a community. And so far, so good, but I still want you, meaning you, to be part of it. All right, so after all this hype, it was much ado about nothing. The SPY was unchanged. But in a lot of ways, this is really not surprising to me. I've seen a lot of times where you get like some kind of a delayed reaction. Like news comes out, it takes people a while to digest it, and the market impact really doesn't catch up until a day or two later. So we're right at this 410 level, 412 to be precise, but I mean, we're right there. And for some reason, the SPY likes this level. It was resistance here, and it was resistance here, and it's become resistance again. I mean, this is a little bit more of a zone. It's not as well defined as here. But if we don't get through this resistance soon, or over the next few days, there's a good chance we make a move lower because what happens is that the sellers or some of the investors who want to sell get the sense that there are other sellers around. When we get to a resistance level, we tend to get quick sell-offs if we don't get through it. And this happens because the investors who are trying to sell start to get the sense that there are other sellers around. That's why the market's not going higher anymore. And they decide to reduce the price that they're willing to sell at because they want to be the lowest price in town because they don't want to miss the trade. So someone might say, all right, well, I'm willing to sell at 410. And someone else could come along and say, all right, well, I'm going to sell at 409.50. Someone else comes along and says, I'm going to sell at 409. And it just becomes a snowballing process. And as we can see, that's what happened when we failed at this resistance. We failed at this resistance. The most One of the most basic lessons of trading or being a successful trader is understanding that some price levels are more important than others. Sometimes we know why, sometimes we don't. Doesn't matter. You just want to know where they are. Knowing where the levels are, it's like your map to success, I should say. So 410 was resistance here. It was resistance here. It was also resistance back here, but whatever. I'm just going to focus on the more recent term. And it's resistance again. Now, this chart displays an interesting concept, or I don't know if concept is the right word. No, it's definitely not the right word. This displays an interesting fundamental about the way financial markets work. Yes, some price levels are more important than others, and these levels can literally convert back and forth between support and resistance. Now, when a market's going lower, there's not enough demand or buy orders to have taken all the supply or sell orders. When we get to a support level is a large concentration of people that are looking to buy at or close to the same price. So we get to support, and all of a sudden the sellers don't need to reduce their prices anymore. There's not enough demand to absorb the supply, so the sellers are forced to sell their shares at a discount, and that forces the downtrend. So we get to support, and we rally, fell through, get back up here, and now this is resistance. When a market is moving higher, it's because there's not enough supply to fill all the demand. So the buyers need to be willing to pay a premium. That forces an uptrend. So those were what support and resistance levels are. These are the levels we need to focus on because they're the important ones. Why is this level at 390 and not at 392 or 39 or 388? I mean, I don't know. But we don't really need to know. So this shows an interesting market dynamic. Notice how the level that was support converts into resistance. This happens because of buyer's remorse. People buy, the price goes lower. They tell themselves, I want to get out, but I don't want to lose any money. So if it gets back to my buy price, I'm going to sell. So remorseful buyers placing their sell orders at their buying price could turn a level that was support into resistance. Now we have the opposite. Resistance converted into support. How could resistance convert into support? It's the opposite. It's seller's remorse. People sell, the market goes higher. A lot of the investors who sold regret selling and they tell themselves, I made a mistake. I want to buy my shares back, but I'm only going to do so if I can get them for the same price I sold them at. If there's enough remorseful sellers placing buy orders at the former resistance level, what was resistance will convert into support. So remember, everybody, buyer's remorse can turn support into resistance. Seller's remorse can turn resistance into support. So common phenomena, we see it here, resistance became support. Happens in financial markets, and the best traders know where these levels are, and they understand these basic financial market principles. So again, please subscribe to our YouTube page here, and please check out our website, stockmarketjobber.com, and check back over the next few days because there's a chance that we get that delayed reaction like I was talking about. All right, everybody, thank you, and have a good day.